Praise the Lord, Alkali's in the kitchen. Praise the Lord, Alkali's in the kitchen. Praise the Lord, Alkali is in the kitchen, and there's no kale here.
Hello and welcome to Cooking with Alkali. Today we're making risotto.
Hi everyone, welcome to our episode. We're going to try something a little bit different today.
And now for something completely different.
Risotto is one of those recipes that you hear of and you never even attempt, mainly because you don't want Gordon Ramsay to break into your house and murder you in your sleep because it was slightly too dry.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
I'm here to tell you that risotto is actually one of the easier things you can cook. It's just a little bit time consuming. So if you're willing to put in the time, you can easily make this ultra creamy, one of the most wonderful rice side dishes out there. We're actually going to be doing a close-up on the process for this one because it is a half-hour process, but way more simple than you think. I always suggest for a recipe like this, have everything ready beforehand, which is what I've done on my dirty, dirty counter.
Dirty boy, dirty, dirty, dirty.
So all we have ready right now is the first thing is we need is our rice. Now you need a very particular rice for risotto, and that is the arborio rice. The reason we're making risotto today is actually this was still on the shelf at the Costco.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Once you have that rice, all the other ingredients you need for a very simple risotto is almost stuff that you might have around your house. So what we already have here is 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic. We have 3 tablespoons of butter divided up into a 1 tablespoon and a 2 tablespoon for a total of 3. 1 onion, small, chopped. And between a quarter and a half cup of Parmesean cheese. I graded this earlier. I go closer to a half cup because I live with a mouse and he will eventually see this video and yell at me for not putting enough cheese into the risotto.
You said mine's like Gouda. Not in the morning. Cheese tires them out. They need fruit for energy.
And the last thing you will need is, of course, a extra virgin olive oil. So, we're going to switch the camera over and I will describe the process to you as we go using a lot of cuts and a lot of fast forwarding. So, here we go.
As delectable as dipping my bottom over and over into a bath of the silkiest oils and cream.
One of the last things I forgot to talk about is your liquid. This is how you're going to turn this into the creamy mess that it deserves to be. And all I'm doing there is 4 cups of chicken stock. Now I actually recommend getting a decent chicken stock for this because this flavor is really going to come through. So I got organic chicken stock, which normally I wouldn't care about, but this time I do. So we're going to start building this thing. Or I'm going to light the house on fire. Once you get your stock to a rolling boil, you want to turn down the heat on that and just keep it at a simmer. I've actually got the stove set to between a 1 and a 2 right now, so that's just going to keep this warm while we cook the rest of our ingredients. Now, the pot that you're putting the risotto in, you want that under medium-high heat to start. And to that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. And we are also going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. And we're going to let that melt.
My fantasy come true! I am butter toast!
For the most part for this, the only real tool you're going to need, I use a whisk on this just to keep it moving. That's actually unnecessary. You can use the same tool. I just already had it out. You're probably going to want a wooden spoon for this one, just because you're going to be standing over the heat for so long.
Why is it so hot in here?
Once the butter is melted, throw in your onion. We're going to cook these onions till they're basically translucent, maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Make sure not to overcook your onions because they're going to be in there for a minute or 2 more without any liquid as you do your garlic. Now remember, you're going to be cooking little chunks of onion that are going to be a little bit bigger than your chunks of garlic. So that's why you're putting the onion in first. But once they get to around this state, a little bit translucent, now you're going to want to add your garlic. That is a tablespoon of delicious delicious garlic. Give the garlic about 2 minutes, if that, and then you're going to add in your 1.5 cups of rice. Now, once you get that in there, get that all coated. Once your rice is coated, it's time to add in your first optional ingredient. You do not need to add this. I always do. That is 1/2 cup of a dry white wine. I actually had some leftover wine from a few nights ago, so we're going to add in 1/2 cup of a dry white wine. Now, this is where you can no longer walk away. Now, once that is in, you are basically stirring almost constantly. You can take a breather for a second to put something else in the oven, but for the most part, you want this constantly moving. Now there's no more time. You're not going to have any instructions on how to finish this, because you basically have put in your last ingredient for the main recipe, because at this point it is add liquids and stir until you can't see them anymore, until they are absorbed. So that's what we're going to do here. This is 1/2 cup of white wine that I'm stirring until it gets absorbed into the rice. As you can see over here, we have a little bit of the liquid left, so we're still going. And don't let it sit for too long, or else it will stick to the bottom of the pan and it will not give you a decent product. There, now that you can't see any more liquid, there we go. Once you can't see any more liquid, you're going to take a ladle at a time and start adding in your chicken stock. 1 ladle at a time, stirring after every addition until it is totally absorbed. This is the part that's going to take a while, but trust me, it's not that difficult. It's just time consuming.
Where's the device that lets you speed or slow the passage of time? Under the seat.
So that's about it. We cooked in 1/2 cup of dry white wine. The onion, the garlic, that all got mixed in with the rice. The rice right now is getting nice and soft, and we've got all 4 cups of chicken broth, chicken stock in there already. So now we do the part that burns our mouths. We need to taste to make sure. What you're looking for here is a soft rice, not crunchy, but also not destroyed. It's right there. Another minute or two and this will be done. So, as you're getting towards the end, you're going to need to put in the finishing touches. The finishing touch being 2 tablespoons of butter and 1/4 to 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. And that's really gonna add a lot to this dish. So this is about ready to go. 2 tablespoons of butter. And for me, almost 1/2 cup of fresh grated Parmesan cheese. Now you're gonna stir this all in, and once it is done, you get one last taste to see if it needs salt, which for the most part I find that it does not. Usually the Parmesan takes care of that, the butter takes care of that, but hey, to each his own.
Wow, he's a little bit of a stress eater, huh?
And that is it. That is risotto. It is that easy. I cannot recommend trying it yourself enough. Thank you so much for joining us. And guys, try new things. Go to the store, pick up some crap, and find out how much you like things like risotto. And oh my God, so much chocolate. Now, if you'll excuse me, I bought a bunch of chocolate and I'm gonna go eat it. Bye.
We were talking about chocolate?
That was 10 minutes ago.